you and I have had some awesome, deep conversations on self-expression, on transcending shame, and those are two things that I'm always excited to go into, and I'm confident everyone on this call will benefit from. I know they will. And this weekend is an amazing exercise of stepping into that fullness of self-expression, stepping into who we really freaking are. And you are one of the most expressed and most like honest people like with your process around all of that. And I just love your shares on that. So I'd love to open up this conversation on that subject right there.
Oh, wow, Jackson. Thank you so much for that beautiful honoring and seeing. It's definitely been like a big journey to even be like celebrated in this space right now. So I'm so grateful for you seeing me and so grateful for the journey that I've been on, moving through these layers of fear, shame, and guilt that have really contracted me and have just been like, no, I'm not gonna stay living in this vibration my whole life. Like, how can I move out of that? And thankfully I started this journey at a young age so that I can be here now in a space of leadership with that and continue growing. Like I know that there is way more to my expression, to my love, to my joy, to the fullness of who I am by embracing all layers of that. I got to embrace the depth of more layers of that this weekend in my ayahuasca ceremony. Really powerful, beautiful, deep, intense, excruciatingly painful, beautiful, blissful, all of it.
Yeah.
And the truth is it always just comes down to breathing, like feeling whatever it is and breathing through it without reacting to it or trying to change it or trying to make it wrong or fearing it or trying to run away from it. But like, all right, this is intense. Let me just sit with it and breathe with it and listen to it. And so whether it's in a ceremony and you're just there in yourself, like contained in your own being and kind of going through your inner journey, or you're on a dance floor and you're in a space where it's about expression and sharing it and moving through it, it's the key in all of it is really embracing it and going into it rather than running from it. And I feel like we have so many programs that in our society that kind of condition us to run from it, run from pain, try to like only run from pain and go towards pleasure as opposed to just embracing what is. And we can do that on the dance floor too. A lot of times, like when I'm at festivals, like a big part of my dance awakening journey was going to festivals and meeting my discomfort on the dance floor. Like, and that was a metaphor for life. Like, how was I meeting my discomfort in life? Was I running from it, trying to just go towards the things that I only really wanted, but kind of running away from the things that I didn't want? Or was I able to like face all of it? And so a lot of it was like being in my sensuality, being in my softness, being in my sexuality on the dance floor, being seen in that, and not letting the shame that I felt about that stop me. And so I would like intentionally go into it, maybe be like as weird as possible because I was afraid of being weird and I felt ashamed around that, and that was what I was running from. So I would lean into that and I'd be like, I'd do funny things, freaky things, like things that I would be embarrassed about, and then I would choose to not remove the love from myself. So I would choose to love myself through that and embrace it as opposed to looking at people of like, oh my God, did they see me in that? But like, hey, yeah, like you want to join me in this? Like it's pretty fun. And then all of a sudden it turns from shame into pleasure and connection. And it's been really beautiful. And in like medicine ceremony, it's like, okay, we're all in this space together. We're on this ship that's flying, we're purging, and like we're in this together, and we're not trying to hide it, but we're allowing it to come up and be released and be seen and felt and then loved. And the big part of it is really just loving ourselves through all of it.
Yeah, man, the quotable Jenergy snapshot. I love that. I just got an epic book. For those of you that know David Data, Way of the Superior Man, this is one of the best books of all time. Terrible title, but still one of the best books of all time. And Enlightened Sex is one I just started getting into a couple days ago. And the thing you said about softness, and he says that like the degree to which we're soft in our breath and we're soft in the present moment is the degree to which we can really receive who we are.
Mm.
And right? And finding that awareness of like the breath and the nervous system. If there's like if there's any tightness, any like kink, we're not really in the receptivity and the expression of who we really are.
Yeah, yeah, like that was a huge thing that came up for me in the ceremony. And it was very much like I could see the ways in which my own past pain would create a defense mechanism in my ego, blocking me from that space of softness. And I would like look at the fire, and the fire was just kind of like demasking all of the hardness, and it was just like melting off of my face as I was looking at it, and then just staring at the fire with this like pure soft eyes, soft gaze, and really just feeling like I hadn't felt that level of softness since I was a child. And it was reminding me of that soft space as a child before the programs, before the defense mechanisms, before the holding patterns, before the ego conditioning comes in. It was just like, oh yeah, that's me. Like I remember that space. Like that is freedom. That is love. That is truth. And it was just the purity of my heart. And just continuously going into that, not again, not running from it, but like, and I tried to run from it. I was like, I don't want to do the ceremony, like trying to go do another, but it was like, no, go into it. And it was so beautiful to get to, you know, to embrace the pain that was associated with all of those defense mechanisms, and then just like have it all kind of melt away. And it was really beautiful.
Yeah. Definitely been similar journeys myself in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of defense mechanisms, especially as a man wanting to embody strength and wanting to embody power and create security and create, you know, strength for myself and others. There's that instinct of hardness and that instinct of like, no, we're not feeling that, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, that's really blocking out who we really are. And like
Mm.
finding the balance of how to be, for me, is like a major part of my like present tense reality and psyche is finding that balance of not becoming overly feminized and like losing sexual polarity, and not blocking out that depth of feeling, and like finding that balance of expansive masculinity where I can hold all of me and like hold all of the moment and the people and the women that are in my life, while still being like in that real depth of feeling, and that like that depth.
Yeah, yeah. It's so amazing, and it's so beautiful that you really honor that within yourself, and you actively work towards shifting the parts of you that are, still in resistance to that. I think that's really beautiful, and that's beautiful men's work. That's men's work right there. And I think it's amazing that you're a leader in this right now for so many men and all humans too.
Mm.
But like it's really powerful and really needed for men right now in this time. And I'm so grateful that we have these festivals, like conscious transformational festivals around. Like I've been to so many in this country, and I'm so grateful that we have one here so close to our home and happening this weekend. And we get to explore this space. We get to explore this space of vulnerability, of softness, of connection, of dance, in a safe and intentional space where it's not about the drugs, not about the alcohol. It's about the connection. It's about the healing and the transformation, and really getting to experience that with others by going to these workshops. I know that there's men's workshops happening too, women's workshops. We usually have a women's tent. There's plenty of transformational breath work, yoga classes, all these things. And that's really why like we do this. It's not like, okay, yeah, go have fun and party, but it's like, okay, how are we transforming our lives through these events? And this is what we need right now. This is what we need to remind us that we're all one, to remind us of unity consciousness, of love, and recognizing that it's not about taking sides. It's about remembering that we're all one, and that all life is precious. And so these events, these festivals help us maintain this vibration, hone in this vibration, and then send that vibration out, whether it's energetically or physically when we come in contact with other people, that we can just share love and remember that even when people come at us with hurt or with judgment or with anything, that we don't have to play on that vibration. We can actually choose to love them no matter what. And that is one of the most powerful things that I want to like talk about right now. And that's just we're seeing so much separation in our world happening with the wars, the fighting, everything. And it all just comes down to separation consciousness, and it all just comes down to our ego. And the ego is the belief in separation. So where are we still as a species living in separation consciousness, believing that we're separate from God, separate from each other, separate from source? And it's so sad to see so many people fighting, and the at the root is a belief system. And so these festivals really help us shift our belief system so that we can really open up and remember these festivals and these ceremonies. And I'm so, grateful to be privileged to be able to attend these and share and know that the work for us is to continue to expand and like share this to people who aren't as privileged and get to, share this vibration with others as well. And I'm really excited for my set at Fireflies. I'm going to
I was about to
set.
ask, tell us what you're going to be prayer forming.
Yes, so I'm gonna do a intentional prayer meditation before I start my DJ set, for before we go into the ecstatic dance, for us to really focus in, hone in on our light, hone in on our love, and direct that with our conscious, with our will, our conscious intention to share that amongst. We can send that to the Middle East. We can engulf that light throughout our entire planet through our meditation and love. We can't obviously go there and do anything in this moment, but we can with our intention and will. And if you study anything about quantum physics and quantum reality, you know that this is real, that this is actually, that this works. It's not just because we can't see it doesn't happen. Like energy is real. And so we can use that our power through our joy and through our high vibrational state. So we're going to do that before we go into the dance, and then through the dance, I'll be, guiding people to like direct that light and that love to anywhere that they feel needs healing, whether it's a specific family member, whether it's a whole entire region, or just the entire globe. And there's so much that we can do when more and more people get to do this in a very heightened state. So festivals is an amazing time to do that. We're in such heightened states there.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And the chances and the opportunities to welcome all that we are and bring all of our shame, all of our fear, all of our self-judgment, all of the things that hold us back, and have a space to really be present with that and allow that to transmute and witness ourselves transforming. And I sent out an email this morning talking about my first experience at Fireflies a few years ago, and there was a lot of judgment to me around like the festival community, and I'd never been, and to me it was too like pleasure seeking and indulgent, just like it wasn't spiritual in the way that I defined at the time, or not like stoic enough. And but the signs lined up and it was the right thing, and I went, and it was so impressive to me, the level of artistry and human connection and respect, and just like this vibration of kindness and really respect. Like there was such a great air between people, and such a great feeling of trust between people. I was super impressed. And
Mm.
yeah, now, as and that really was a major moment for me. And and bringing AUREA to life was like, all right, Kahil, I see you up there, man. That's great, bro. I want to do that too, brother. Like, keep going, like, do your thing, but I'm gonna like see about doing my thing over here too. And
Yes.
seeing each other like artists, like we're all artists. I think the more we all embrace that, the more that we're able to bring our gifts to the world, and just seeing other people in the fullness of their expression, like that lights up our ability to share our own.
Yeah, yeah, we're all artists. That's one of my favorite things to remind humanity. I used to think I wasn't an artist, and that's because I was disconnected from my heart. If you have a heart, you're an artist.
Man,
It's just the expression of your heart. Your creative energy is flowing through your heart. That is your artistry in whatever form it is. It doesn't have to be painting or however you typically, see art, or whatever you believe art is, but art is your just pure creation of your heart and whatever you feel called to share with the world. And yeah, it's just a festival is just a beautiful opportunity to remind us of that, because we're operating in this environment, typically going to work, focusing on things that often stress us out, that disconnect us from our heart, that disconnect us from our art. And then we forget who we truly are, which is just pure love and creative energy. And when that gets blocked, and we have illness, we have sickness, we have wars, we have mental illness, we have disease, and so much. And that's all just from the blocking of our energy. And so when we can open and expand our energy centers and see where we're holding on, see where we're contracting out of fear, shame, guilt, any of the three, the beliefs of the ego and separation, then we can just move past that and allow our energy to flow, and we return to a state of health and wholeness. That's why I go into these journeys, these plant medicine journeys, so I can continue removing those barriers in myself, even though it's really difficult at times, and challenging and painful. But I'm like, all right, this is the path, and I'm ready to embrace it. And for not only myself, but for our planet and for my family. Like I've been going through a lot, seeing where my family's at and their health, and being like, wow, okay, like I'm seeing the patterns, I'm seeing the ancestral beliefs, the wounds and the trauma and the patterns of that getting passed down, and then being able to like, okay, it's time to work it in my own life and support my mom and anybody else in my family who's willing to go into it too.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. And holding the vision of you and your strength and compassion and clarity and resilience. And there's a wise soul. When I was in a recent really challenging ceremony and processing a lot of really deep childhood work and wounds and abuse going back a long time without any victimhood or blame, but really processing and forgiving and accepting some really really deep stuff. And for all of us out there that are processing deep stuff and being a pattern breaker in your
Mm.
families, it's like you're going through these challenges, and not just you, Jim, but all of us who know that we're meant to be the pattern breaker. It's because our souls were strong enough to really stomach that kind of transformation and transmute and change that momentum and say, no, we're not going over here, we're going this way, and I'm the one that can hold this space, and I'm the one that can transform this.
Yes, yes. Like you said it right there. Forgiveness is like the biggest thing. I actually wrote down that word. So I was like, oh, gotta talk about forgiveness. And then you said it, and I was like, all right, little synchronicity there. Yeah, that was a big thing for me. Like I started to feel the ways in which I was still kind of closed off to love through those patterns that of things that came up from childhood, from adolescence, from adult life, and seeing the ways in which I hardened, again, going back to that, being in the need to be in the softness for our health,
Hmm.
and seeing how, wow, like what the threads of that were in my life, and how that was affecting various connections, relationships, opportunities, and just being like, oh God, oh God. Ah. And then the biggest thing, the only thing that could move that energy out of me was forgiveness. Like, all right, I can forgive all parts of myself and others for all of this. And that was huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge, huge. The
Huge.
power of forgiveness. You there? We'll have to forgive Instagram now. I think so. I don't hear you. Right. Well, thanks, Instagram. I forgive you. And Wi-Fi and all the things. You can hear me. Okay. So I don't hear you. You want to just message me on here? Um, Forgiveness. LOL. Yes. All right, y'all. Well, we've been having some technical difficulties all morning or all afternoon with this call, but I'm grateful we got to share a good amount here. Drop and rejoin. Yeah, I'll drop and rejoin. Let's do it. Can anyone hear him? I can't. Okay. I think I might call this. Oh, we have some beautiful people online here. All right, I think I might call this because I can't hear you. I don't know if anybody else can, but when I was off, I couldn't hear you either, Jackson. So, oh my God, saying hi to all the beautiful people on here right now. Yeah, it looks like I can't hear. So let's call it here. Thank you everyone for joining. I would love to share the replay of this. I feel like we dropped some beautiful, beautiful insight and would love for more people who weren't on here. So let's replay it, share it on our feeds. And thank you all. I hope to see you all who are here in South Florida at Fireflies. Anytime you want to chat about anything, I'm here. I also do some work virtually as well. So if you're not local to the South Florida area but want to drop in on anything, like I'm here for support. And yeah, that's what I love to do. I love you all. Thank you. Keep dancing, stay magical, and keep sending your light everywhere you want to see light and love in this world. All right. Blessings. Thank you, Jackson. I hope people can hear you too. I know we had a really good conversation. All right.